cloud. There we go. And then find your way to any comfortable sitting position. And let's just start here by doing a little somatic. So just that chance to just settle into our physical body, to begin to regulate the nervous system. So tipping, not so much stretching, but you can just gently tilt your right ear towards your right shoulder and look down with your eyes towards so down and to the right. So the head just tilts, the gaze is down and to the right, and everything's gentle. Paying attention to any deepening of your breath or any sighs, swallowing. You can bring your gaze back up, untilt the head, bring it back to center, and just take a moment here in the center. You can tilt your head to the left, look down and to the left with soft eyes. Everything's soft, no force, no strain. Maybe there's some sighing. Just being present to whatever your body is experiencing right now. And then you can bring the gaze back up, gently untilt the head. Take a few breaths here in neutral. Let's tilt over to the right one more time. And this time with your eyes, look down but to the left. The gaze is down and to the left. The head is tilted right. Gaze back to center. Lift the head up. Take a moment in the center. Tilt to the left just lightly and look down and to the right with the gaze. And then bring the gaze back to center, gently lift up the head. Just kind of absorbing, feeling that settling. Maybe you feel a little more settled than when you arrived in class. All of these subtle things, many of them are not so subtle, but things that we do as part of yoga, breathing, moving, help to regulate or settle down our nervous system. So it's what makes yoga so, part of what makes yoga so good for us. All right, let's go ahead and as you inhale, draw the shoulders up by the ears. Keep them up there. Take an exhale. Take an inhale. And with your next exhale, let the shoulders melt down. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, draw them up. Take an exhale. Take an inhale. And exhale, let the shoulders release down. Inhale, lift lightly through the crown of the head. Exhale, rotate the gaze to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale, rotate to the left. Just moving here side to side, taking an easy, comfortable inhale when your gaze moves back to center. Easy exhale as you turn your head to the side. And letting your breath be the determinant of when you move. So the breath goes first and then the movement follows. Also can be a nice somatic one. Good. All right, so next time you turn to the left and finish your next round, you can bring your gaze back to center and take some shoulder rolls here. So the process of moving your shoulders might yield some information about how they've been sitting on top of your rib cage today. It feels good to alternate. Oh. And roll one shoulder up while the other rolls down and change directions. Change directions with both shoulders if you didn't have a chance to do that already. Oh, yeah. All right, and then going ahead, we're gonna make your way to the floor, have a block handy. Come down onto your back. Oh, good. Settling into the floor. Feeling the soles of the feet on the floor. You can have your knees bent here. You can take your hands about 5 to 6 inches away from your hips and let the palms rest face down. As you inhale, feel the upper arms, back of the shoulders, mid-back, hips, just melting a little bit closer to the earth. So we're just kind of feeling a sinking sensation, and then exhale and let that go. But inhale, just feeling like maybe you're a stamp that has some ink on it, and we're trying to get ink onto the mat underneath you. So inhale, that stamp is gently pressing down to see how much of your back can imprint. And inhale, you can just have a normal inhale. So not all of your back will get to the floor, but just having a sense of that feeling. If you'd like to walk your feet a little wider apart, move your hands to T position and begin to windshield wiper, letting your knees gently rock from side to side. And you could even let your head move in the opposite direction of the knees. As the knees go left, your gaze could go right. As the knees go right, your head can go left. And then let that stop. Bring your knees to your chest. You can hold on behind your thighs or over the shins. And taking some circles with your ankles. And circle in the other direction. And hold the right knee in and extend the left leg long. You can let it float about an inch above the floor or rest on the floor. See what you need today. Letting it lift a little bit engages or should help you engage the core to protect the low back. So if that feels yummy, you can float the foot a few inches off the floor or let it rest on the floor. And change, bring the left knee in, extend the right leg out, either to hover lightly with the transverse abdominals gently activated, or with that right foot resting on the floor. Either one is good today. So Yogi's choice. And bring the right knee into the chest. Take your hands onto your knees, and we'll circle the knees in, each one's going in an opposite direction. So we can draw the knees towards the chest, take them out towards the edges of the mat, let them move away towards the hips, and then bring them together as you draw them back to the chest. So just making some opposite circles with the knees. And taking a few in the other direction. Starting to lubricate the hips. Bring a little prana, a little energy. Get the lymphatic system moving. Let's say hello, get our fascia warmed up here. Just getting it all done. Nice. And then let the circling stop. Bring the knees over the shins as though you're resting your shins on a coffee table, or to let the shins be parallel to the floor. So take a moment again to just let the hips, the base of the pelvis, the rib cage, the shoulders be heavy. Take your hands to your thighs, flex your ankles, and gently press into the thighs at the same time that you're trying to press the thighs into the hands. So a little isometric zing here, all in the service of core engagement. So feeling a light engagement in the core. Just doing a little low back stabilization here. So if there was an imaginary blue star right above your pubic bone, that blue star might be feeling like it was moving closer to the floor. All right, now point your toes, take your hands behind your thighs, and try to press the thighs lightly into your hands. Hands draw into your thighs. So a little reverse on that isometric. And feel the core active, lightly active. Good. And see if you can release the shoulders as well. So maybe the shoulders decided to get in on the action and pull a little bit. So if you can keep the shoulders soft and down towards the floor, soften the jaw, and then relax and release. Good. Float the feet to the floor. Make sure if you want to take your hands all the way to the floor, just make sure there's not an object behind you. So if you need to make a test run, taking your arms up and overhead carefully, just trying to make sure they don't whack into anything. We're going to take some moving bridges here. So you can walk your feet a little closer to the hips. Inhale, float the hips up, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, roll the hips down, float the hands down. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, lifting the hips. Exhaling to roll down. And just taking a few more at your own pace. As you lift, maybe feeling that right where the hamstrings insert, maybe feeling the core. And only taking the arms back as far as it's comfortable. Maybe the arms just come to the ceiling. And then the next time you're up, stay here for a few breaths, pressing down through the ball mount of the big toe. Again, feeling that engagement lightly of the hamstrings and inner thighs. No low back discomfort. And exhale, release, rolling down, bring the hands down. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left, so our figure 4 position here. We'll leave the arms, palms face down alongside the hips. As you inhale, we're going to press down through the left foot and lift the hips up. So we're just coming in here briefly to a figure 4 bridge, and then exhale, roll down. Just getting a little zing in the hamstrings. Change sides, you can bring that left ankle over the knee, figure 4 position. Press down through the right foot and lift up, trying to keep the pelvis level, just to feel that right hamstring working, and then lowering down. Good. And unwind. Nice. All right, rolling carefully onto your side, making your way into table pose. Let's see, does anyone join us? No, just us. Good. Okay. So coming into table pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhaling into your cow tilt. So find that nice extension through the upper back, feeling the muscles around the thoracic spine working, and then exhaling to round into a cat stretch, feeling this a little more in the lumbar. Cat stretch stretches the lumbar a little bit more. Cow tilt activates that upper back. So just moving between these two, and any pace that feels right for you, or taking any other movement that would feel good today. And after your next cat stretch, and come back into neutral. Bring the big toes together, take your knees apart, exhale, hinge back into devotional. Just breathing through the back side of your body. So instead of feeling that stamp pressing into the mat, now our back body is facing up towards the ceiling, but still getting a sense of it. Getting that sense of what's behind us. We're so focused on moving forward in the front side of the body, it's sometimes hard to get a sense of the back side of the body. And if you'd like to here, you can bring your palms together in a little prayer position, and then lift your hands, your palms towards the ceiling, bringing the base of the wrists over the head. So just offering a little offering for a tricep stretch there. I just have my palms pointed towards the ceiling with the hands together for a little tricep stretch. And then releasing, good. Sliding forward to come onto your forearms. We'll come into Sphinx pose here. Elbows under shoulders, forearms on the floor. Drawing the abdominals lightly away from the floor towards the hips, bringing the legs together and feeling the inner thighs roll towards the ceiling, outer thighs heavy, rolling towards the outer edge of the mat. Good. Shoulders relax and release. Isometrically draw the forearms towards your hips, feeling a nice stretch through the belly and the chest, again, without overly tensing the shoulders. So see how soft you can keep the shoulders. Maybe the shoulders even feel like they're starting to retract a little bit to broaden through the chest. Or maybe it even feels like there's a way to find sort of that place between protraction and retraction where the shoulder blades broaden towards the side ribs. So just a general sense of expansion through the rib cage here. And then if you've been drawing the elbows towards the hips, let's push in the other direction. Press the forearms forward, lightly press the thighs towards the back of the mat as though you're trying to rip the mat. And then just come to neutral. Drop the chin. And just let the head move side to side. Kind of getting in there into any gunk that's hanging out in that upper trap, right at the base of the neck. We'll do a little bit more for our neck and shoulders here too. And then bringing the gaze forward. Nice. Coming onto the forearms, take a moment here on your tummy and just breathe. A little tummy time. And then when you're ready, draw the abdominals towards, away from the floor, towards the hips, good. And inhale to lengthen the right leg nice and straight and float it about an inch off the floor. So we're lengthening and stretching that right leg back. It's only going to come up a couple inches, not too high. Exhale, release, alternating. Inhale, straighten and stretch the left leg back. Exhale, release. Alternate back to the right. So inhale, we'll stretch and straighten. Exhale, release. Good. And it's that lengthening that gives us a little bit of a lift in the legs. Working here. Hopefully this is a good one for the erector spinae, but not painful on the low back. So we want to keep those good seatbelt muscles engaged on the front side, or just feeling those toned muscles, those stabilizer muscles on the front. Good. And then just let that go. Stop lifting the legs and just relax your forehead on the floor or on the folded arms. All right. Bring the hands alongside the side ribs, elbows close into the body. Good. Press the top of the feet into the floor. Inhale, take an easy, gentle cobra. Exhale to release. Good. Inhale, lift up and look to the right. Maybe the thoracic spine rotates lightly to the right. Exhale through the center. Inhale, look to the left. Exhale, release. So just a little bit of rotation. So don't try to twist too much. Just kind of feel a smooth little rotation here. Taking it side to side one more time. Coming back to center. Pressing yourself back into table pose. Good. We'll stretch the right leg back, tuck the toes under. And make sure that pinky toe, if you can you get that pinky toe tucked under? Yeah, and then we're just gonna find, this is really for the toes. We're just gonna find a place to rock, taking the heel back towards the back of the mat and rolling over the ball mound of the foot and the toes. So all about toes here. And then we'll bring that right leg in, extend the left leg back, tuck the toes under, see if you can get that pinky toe tucked as well. Rock a little forward and back, stretching the heel back, and then stretching the heel forward and finding what your toes need. Maybe your toes are saying, I really don't need this. Or maybe they're saying, boy, this feels yummy. Whatever they're saying. Just send them some love. Good. All right, nice. And bring that left knee in. All right, either coming up to kneeling or sitting back on your heels, whatever is most comfortable at this moment, or you could sit cross-legged. We're gonna interlace the fingers. There we go. It's like you're giving yourself a handshake, and then make some wrist circles here, or some wrist figure eights. Any kind of movement with a wrist that feels good. And then interlace differently, coming right down to that webbing, giving yourself a good firm handshake, and then taking some figure eights or some circles, trying to go in the other direction perhaps. Mine are starting to feel like a little whirligig at one of the little summer fairs. Right. All right, and then release, give those wrists a shake out. We'll do one more in table pose, stepping the right leg back and then crossing it over the left and then looking over your left shoulder. We're getting an opening through the right side, a contraction through the left. Maybe the toes are getting a little more stretched there too. Swing that right leg back, knee under the hips. Left leg stretches back and over, toes tuck, looking over the right shoulder now, opening the left side and contracting the right. Good. And then floating that knee back. All right. Any variation here, if you'd like to move into a downward facing dog, tucking the toes, shifting the hips up and back is totally an option. And you could pedal in your downward facing dog or making your downward facing dog. I'm going to move into a down dog on a chair. You can do a down dog on your chair or on the wall. Ooh. Yeah, so if you're pedaling, bending one knee deeply, bringing the thigh towards the belly, belly towards the thigh. So just having some fun here. Might be fun to just let the hips slide a little side to side. So see what movement feels beneficial. What feels yummy about your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana here. Drawing up through the base, palms, elbows, and armpits towards the heart. Doesn't have to be a lot of work, just an idea of feeling that drawing up, and maybe the rib cage feels like it gets a little more cylindrical, a little fuller. And when you're ready, you can walk your hands and feet together if you're in regular old downward facing dog, or make your way to a forward fold. Feet about hip distance apart, head can dangle. You can clasp the elbows and rock a little side to side here. Good. Or you clasp the hands behind the head to take a little neck traction if that feels yummy. Releasing the hands, bend the knees lightly. Inhale, take 1 or 2 breaths to come up gradually. You can exhale here and then take another inhale. And just unrolling the spine, feeling the sits bones heavy, making your way to standing. Ooh, and just acclimating there for a moment. Either hands can come to the heart center, or boy, I tell you, these last few weeks I've really been enjoying, or it's been really soothing to have my hand on my heart. So if that feels good, you could just take one hand, doesn't matter which, to your heart. Just feeling your breath. If you need to take any big exhales through the mouth, if that feels good. If it feels good to make any animal noises, you could take a little whinny. Or anything. Winking, mooing, it's all good. All right, let's release the hand if you have it at the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Right hand clasps left. Exhale, lateral stretch. Feeling the right side waist drawing closer to the spine. And opening through the left side. Yeah, we're really getting that fascia to open up here. Just by holding the pose, not necessarily by trying to overstretch. Just kind of finding this position and letting the rib cage have a little space. Inhale, come on back to center, left hand clasps right. Exhale to the other side, left side waist draws towards the spine. Right side opens. Oh, yum. Inhale, come on back to center. And exhale, release. There was a nice article in the Tribune Health section yesterday about all the stretches you could do for a stiff back if you've been sitting a lot, which we mostly do anyway. But a lot of them are all the good yoga stretches we do. Cat-cow, lateral stretches, twists, down dog. So I was so glad to see that. All right, let's do a little bit of balancing and keep working on the feet a bit. So stabilizing through the left leg. I'll turn sideways here. You're going to bring the toes underneath if you can. So now it's like more like those ballet toes, if that's okay. If you need to hold on to a chair or the wall, all good. And then we're just trying to also maybe play around with drawing the heel towards the back, or you could, again, find any motion if you want to rock a little. If this is really way uncomfortable, you can take a pass or just take a couple more breaths if you can. And then let that go. We'll try that on the other side. We'll tuck the left toes under, draw the left heel back, stabilizing through the right leg, and then just finding whatever, getting the toes going in that other direction. Oh, toes, we do love you. All right, and release. Good. All right, just take one leg up, give it a little shake. Other leg, give it a little shake. And then we're going to stand back on the left leg. Good. Lift the right leg. And then again with your toes, as though you're either picking up a soft, squishy, small ball, or maybe trying to pick up a pencil. It's kind of trying to pick up the pencil behind the toes. Just imagine here. Just a few pencil pickups here. And release, and we'll try a few pencil pickups on the other leg, stabilizing through the right. Trying to pick up with those left toes. Oh, get our little work for our balancing today. Good, and release. Good. Let's lift all the toes. Spread them apart. And then press the big toes to the floor. Ooh, that's hard. Lift the big toes and press index toe through pinky toe to the floor, all 4 other toes. And then just alternate big toe to the floor, other 4 toes lift. Ooh. I'm finding that my fingers want to join in. So, okay. Let the hands relax if you can. Let your jaw relax if you can. Taking a few gentler, deeper breaths. And then just let that go. Good. Yay, nice. All right, let's exhale, take a forward fold. And have your block handy. You may not need it. We're going to step, actually, I should say, if you're not at the front of the mat, come to the front of your mat just to give yourself a little more space. As you inhale, step the right leg back, spin the heel to the floor. So we're opening the hips towards the long side of the mat and walking your hands or your block out towards that right corner of the mat. So down dog lunge. I have this knee bent. Good. You could use your block at any height or hands to the floor. Good. So we've got that left rib inside the knee here. You could gently round the spine. You could take a little cat stretch with the back if you press the floor away with the hands, but keep that front knee bent. Maybe press the feet into the floor. Feel a little zing through that back inner thigh. And then walking the hands forward, carefully spin the back heel off the floor, step it forward. Good. Inhale, step the left leg back, spin the heel to the floor, keep that right knee bent and walk over to the left here. So you've got your down dog lunge. Other side. Hips are moving more towards the left side of the mat. Block or not. Hands could be on the floor. Whew. You could press the floor away and feel a nice rounded cat stretch here if that feels good. Oh yeah. And then just try to press down gently through both feet if you're trying that cat stretch. Or you could just take a nice flat back and see how that feels. And walk the hands forward, spin the back heel off the floor, step the left leg in, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, stretch the chest forward. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Let's try that a couple more times. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch the chest forward, nice flat back. Exhale, bring the forehead towards the shins. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Good. Another variation to play with here if you'd like. Inhale, you can reach the arms up and overhead. Bring the hands together overhead, and then as you exhale, just bringing the hands down through the midline. You can play with that one. Releasing the hands as you come into your forward fold. Good. Inhale. Stretch the chest forward. Exhaling, bowing into yourself. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Interlace the hands together behind the low back if that's available. So we've got that good external rotation in the shoulders. You can hold onto a strap if there's not enough space. I may use the strap today. Whew. So just kind of see what you need. Whoa. And then again, finding a little bit of that shoulder retraction without getting too grippy between the shoulder blades. So it's just more of opening to the front. Find the abdominal muscles, find that little blue star right above the pubic bone and draw it back. Draw the tube of the neck back and maybe adjust the angle of the chin if it needs to drop a little. All right, and release, letting that go. Good. All right, so we're going to step feet about hip distance apart, well, a little wider than hip distance apart. You might want to step off your mat if you've got your narrow edge of the mat. Turning the feet outward and bend the knees, coming into goddess pose. And take a few kind of little, like we were on a bungee cord. Yeah, and then staying a little bit lower here. Good, we'll reach the right arm up and try to take the left arm across. So inhaling that right arm up. Exhaling, we'll come to T. Inhale to reach up. Exhale through. Inhale over. Exhale back through. One more time. Actually, I think let's do it one more time each side. If you got it in you, if you need to take a break, take a break. Because I think we started here, so we're going to come one more time. The other way. Oh yeah. Woof. And then come back to center. Hinge forward now, so you're a little more folded forward. Take a little of that weight off the quads and bring the hands to the top of the knees. Exhale, catch your stretch, twisting to the right. Come on back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. So that right arm's going to be straight when you twist to the left. Good. The left arm's going to be straight-ish when you turn to the right. So just moving at your own pace a few times side to side. Oh, yeah. Good. Okay. And then coming back to center. Press down through the soles of the feet. Straighten the knees. Good. Bring the feet parallel and step to the center of the mat. Good. Any movement feels good here. Shake it all out. That would feel good to do a quad stretch here. So option, if you have a strap or a belt, you could use that. If you want a balance challenge, you do not need to use the chair. I'm going to hold onto the chair. If you're able to reach the ankle, we're just going to bend the ankle and take a quad stretch this way. And then again with that external rotation through the front of the shoulders. Good. But if you need your strap or your belt, you can always take that around the ankle and hold there. That can be a nice way to do this one too. All right. So thinking about keeping the thighs parallel. So you want that bent knee, you want to keep that thigh about even to the other thigh to open up the space between the top of the hip, top of the thigh, and the hip. Good. Maybe you even want to feel like you're pressing that glute in just a little bit to help open that hip flexor space. Breathing here, lifting the crown of the head. And release. Whew. And then other side. When you're ready, you can use your strap or reach for your ankle, use the wall or a chair, or do this without. Then it's a real true balance challenge. Yeah, ooh, especially if you could try lifting that opposite arm up and overhead if you want to get really fancy today. I don't think I want to. I want to hold on to my chair. Good. Letting the thighs stay parallel, finding that good stretch for the front of the quad, opening up the hip flexors, pressing the glute lightly forward, and drawing that shoulder blade back to feel that opening through the front of the shoulder. Oh yeah, opening through the front of the chest and the outer front of the shoulder. Oh, feels so good. All right, and release, shaking it out a little. All right, so we'll take one more, interlacing the hands behind the low back if that's available. Take an inhale, broaden through the chest, lifting the collarbones. Exhale, hands come to the hip. And then we'll let that right ear come to the right shoulder. So now we can make this a stretch. It's not just a tilt. If that feels good, you can turn your gaze towards your hip here. This is such a good one. Whew. Twists out, or just kind of like squeezing out a washcloth. It gets all the tension out, at least for me. You can gently bring your gaze forward, lifting the head up. Release the hands behind, interlace differently if you're able to interlace. Inhale, broaden the chest, lifting the collarbones. Exhale, hands to the hip as the left ear comes to the left shoulder. And then turning your gaze towards your left hip to add the nice lateral stretch twist. Oh, yum. Oh, so good. And then lightly turn the gaze towards me, lift the head up. Good, release the hands, give them a little shake. Take some jazz hands here, flicking or flicking water at whoever would be in front of you, flicking water towards the screen. Good. And making your way to the floor. Good. Sitting in any comfortable cross-legged position. So it doesn't matter which shin is front or center. Taking a moment to notice how your sits bones feel. And again, it might be different depending on which shin is forward, but trying to feel a little sense of symmetry as the weight comes into both of those sits bones at the base of the spine, those ischial tuberosities. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up and overhead. We'll do a little twisting here. Exhale to twist over to the right. And then inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, floating the arms up. Exhaling to twist to the left. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, floating the arms up. Exhale, back to the right. Take an inhale, easy, gentle. Exhale, soft and complete. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, over to the left. Just relaxing any tension in the neck or jaw. Take an inhale, easy, comfortable inhale. Easy, comfortable exhale. And inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, bring the back of the wrists together. Oh, take a little stretch as you lower the wrists towards your lap. Just feeling whatever yummy stretch for the back of the wrists feels good here. Kind of a reverse, I hate to say reverse namaste. I don't mean the opposite of namaste, just the hand position is like the reverse of the namaste position. All right, let's stretch the legs long. You can keep a micro bend in the knees if you'd like. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, nice Paschimottanasana here. You could hold on to the toes or the ankles. Again, you could have the knees lightly bent. Hold on to the soles of the feet. That might feel really yummy. Let's have the knees bent a little here. Oh, or start with the knees bent a little. I didn't say that. You could try that and then straighten out. Oh, that might feel really yummy too. Whatever variation of this lovely forward fold. you'd like to take today. Should feel good. Again, checking in to make sure your jaw is relaxed, softening the eyes, softening the ears. Inhale to rise up. Oh, good. And then we'll come back into a cross-legged position. And let the right ear come back to the right shoulder. We'll do one more yummy one for the neck here. So you can take your left hand, and give yourself a little massage here. Yeah. I taught this in my morning class and it felt so good to get it twice a day. What a treat. Oh yeah, there you go. All right. Before you bring the head up, when you're ready, you're gonna just bring the right fingertips to your temple and gently use that right hand to lift the head up, taking a moment to just check in. How does the left side feel? Ooh. How does the right side feel? And then letting the left ear come over to the left shoulder, using your right hand to give yourself any kind of massage that feels good there. It's amazing how helpful touch can be, even if it's our own touch. Just the changes that can make in the tone and the texture of the skin or the musculature underneath. Good. Take as much time as you need. Bring your left fingertips to the temple when you're ready so that you use that hand to float the head up. Good. And then just taking a moment to savor both sides of the neck. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. All right. Good. All right, so go ahead and make your way back onto the floor. I thought we'd finish with a short yoga nidra. So getting comfortable on your back. You could take legs up the wall. You could, if you've got a coffee table or a couch handy or a chair handy, you could let your shins rest on the chair. That's always a nice way to do it. But whatever would feel comfortable, if you want to put on socks or a jacket, it's getting as comfortable as you can, turning off any lights. If there's any electronic noises or distractions, shutting the door as much as you can. Bringing your mindfulness fully to the breath. Feeling as you inhale, just feeling the breath moving through your abdomen, side ribs, and chest. And as you exhale, feel the breath moving out from the chest, the ribs, and the abdomen. Just feeling the breath moving in to the body and feeling the breath moving out wherever you're feeling it. And noticing a little both on the front and the back side of the body. So maybe again, as you inhale through the belly, ribs, and chest, you feel the back body sinking down towards the earth or the mat a little more. And as you exhale, maybe you keep that feeling or maybe you lose that feeling. There's just no way in a yoga nidra to do it wrong. You can just listen to the sound of my voice. Yoga nidra is also called yogic sleep, but it's a relaxation technique that keeps you conscious for the most part. But if you fall asleep, that's fine too. So bring your awareness from the crown of your head all the way to your toes. And mentally, silently repeat Om. Feel yourself in complete stillness, yet completely aware of your whole body. Take a silent Om. And continue observing, taking your time. And at this moment, if you'd like to set a sankalpa, a devotion or an affirmation, you can do that now. It's something that comes to you naturally without a lot of work, and repeat your sankalpa 3 times with full awareness, with full feeling and emphasis. Your sankalpa is like planting a seed. It's informing your yoga nidra practice to help you bring about transformation, calmness, and healing. Bring your awareness back to your breath, noticing it as it moves in and out of your nostrils. And with total present moment awareness, focus on the in and out as you begin counting back from 10. Back towards 1. So inhale and exhale 10. Inhale, exhale, counting 9. Just continuing down to 1. If you discover at any point that you got lost or you forgot what your number was, just go back to 10. If you get back to 1, then start at 10 again as well. And softly release your counting wherever you're at. And some things will now be offered. Try to visualize them, developing a picture in your mind using sensation, emotion, imagination, and awareness. Start by picturing a burning candle. A red rose. A thunderstorm. A full moon. A dense forest. Waves breaking on a beach. A sunset. Return to your sankalpa, repeating it silently 3 times. Bring your attention back into the room and to your breath. Allow sensation to wash over you. Notice the top of your head and your toes. Silently repeat Om 3 times. Be aware of the earth supporting you, just as it does every day. Slowly begin to move in nourishing ways, moving any fingers or toes, moving or stretching hands or feet or wrists, whatever feels yummy here. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, starting to take in your surroundings, and roll onto your side. So yoga is transformative. We come onto the mat, and we move through our practice. Maybe at the end, our muscles, our joints feel different, our breath feels different. Maybe our perspective or our emotions are different. So as we practice our daily transformation, or whenever we come to practice, as we practice that transformation, physical, mental, spiritual, we take those skills and we begin to be able to share them with others just by how we are in the world. And when you're ready, you can make your way back into a sitting position. Just letting the head come up last. Taking a hand to your heart or bringing your hands to your heart center, whatever feels nourishing here. Thanks so much for coming today. Thanks for making the choice to practice, for practicing with McGaw, for practicing with me. I so appreciate it. I am so, so grateful. Namaste. Great. And you're joyful, be joyful, you're joyful, you're resilient. Have a good Thursday night.
You too. I hope I wasn't snoring. You couldn't hear me anyway, but
That's the upside of doing nidras online. I don't have to go wake people up if they're snoring. It's so nice. All right. Have a great one, Barb, and maybe you'll join the virtual one. Our Wednesday's good. You want to try the virtual one on Wednesdays?
yeah. What you said 4?
It's 4 to 4:45 on Wednesday. She moved it from Thursday to Wednesday. I'm not quite sure why. I'm sure she was just trying to balance out the schedule. And this won't, I don't know how long the schedule will be in effect. It may only be in effect until a couple of weeks until we can start going inside. They're going to redo the gym for fitness, so that people have plenty of space to social distance. So I think they're going to have little signs that say it's fun to stay 6 feet away at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is the pool, which I will.
Pardon?
The unfortunate thing for me is the pool. I have no idea when they'll ever open that up.
Although the pool is like one of the safest places to be. I mean, in terms of being sanitary, I guess if they can keep people socially distanced, that would be the challenge if we were at. But it's pretty. We were teasing about the best way to keep everybody nice and sanitized would make everybody jump in the pool before their class, then jump in the pool after. That would kill any germs.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All
Well,
right.
thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.